Welcome to the iCarly Survivor Show on the Third Win channel, a show where 16 characters have been put on an island, and every week one of them will be voted off until there is one winner remaining. In this show, these characters are from both the revival and the original, and for now, they've been divided into two tribes, the Pudding Tribe and the Legs Tribe, which is a reference to one of the original iCarly episodes. If you know, you know. Each of these characters have a profile, which I have created, which is set up of different parameters, for example, influence or boldness, or, for example, social skills. Like Harper is a social butterfly, whereas Nora is not at all. She's terrible at that. So I've made these profiles. It took me hours, but I'll go into detail on these profiles for Third Win superfans. It's going to be exclusive video for Third Win members, but as well as this, I'll also talk about relationships. For example, Gwen has an unbreakable bond with Millicent, whereas she has a mild dislike for Paul. So all of this I'll go into detail. I won't bore you, but for Third Win superfans, there'll be a video where I explain all my choices there. But I think let's get going. Without further ado, let's start the iCarly Survivor show. So, proceeding, by the way, if you don't know how Survivor works, you'll figure it out as we go along. But starting out, for the Pudding Tribe, there are no alliances, which makes sense. They've just arrived to the island, as well as the Legs Tribe, no alliances. Next up, we got the first immunity challenge. The immunity challenge decides, it gives immunity. So every episode there's going to be people voted off, right? So if you win the immunity challenge, then you're safe from being voted off. And the first immunity challenge is basically a boat race to a shore where you have to light a torch. And we immediately find out that the Pudding Tribe has won immunity, right? And they also win 50 waterproof matches, which will help them with survival on the island, right? So the Pudding Tribe has won. That means that the Legs Tribe will unfortunately have to vote someone off right away. This is Survivor. Things start right away. But the Pudding Tribe won the event, so I figured let's take a look at how things are going at their camp. So Harper and Marissa have a major fight. Interesting, and there's a new alliance formed at the Pudding Tribe Alliance, which is Gwen, Marissa, and Millicent, and, you know, that makes a lot of sense because the three of them have a strong bond, right? And that's kind of the profiles coming into play here, because they're coming in here knowing each other, right? Next, let's take a look at the Legs Tribe, which just lost an event, so I think things are going to be heated, so let's take a look at what's going on. Carly and Lubert bond strongly. Very interesting. I wonder what happened at that event for that to happen. And a first alliance is formed, which is Carly, Freddie, and Tebow. And that makes perfect sense to me. Next up, and very importantly, is who's being talked about. Who's going to be voted out this episode, right? That's all that's important now. And we see that Neville is targeting Carly. Of course, as always. Carly's targeting Pearl. Makes sense. You know why if you've seen the show. Pearl is targeting Gibby. Maybe she just doesn't like him. And Lubert is targeting Tebow. You know, Lubert's motives are always difficult to understand, right? And we do have one alliance. And, you know, when there's an alliance and they all agree upon one person, then it's trouble, right? And they're looking at Pearl. And so our biggest suspected targets in this voting will be Pearl and Gibby. So let's take a look at the tribal council. So now we're all sitting by a fireside and we're throwing in votes for who we don't want to be a part of this tribe anymore. Someone is going home. So let's take a look at this tribal council. We have our first votes coming in here. We have a vote for Pearl and one for Gibby and another two for Pearl. So we already know that Pearl was going to get 3 votes probably from that alliance. So those are coming in. So if she gets 2 more votes, she's out. Next vote goes in also for Pearl. So now it's 4 for Pearl and 1 for Gibby. Okay. 1 more vote for Pearl and she's out. 1 more for Gibby, so that's 2 to 4. Another one for Gibby, 3 to 4, and Pearl. So our first person character voted off the iCarly Survivor show is Pearl. And it seems like she made bad blood with Carly, and Carly was in an alliance. So that's how that happened, right? And it makes sense. It makes sense. So we see here Chuck also surprisingly voted for Pearl. I'd say that he would do what Carly wouldn't do. But we see here that more importantly now is who voted for Gibby, because Gibby's still in the show, right? So who are the enemies, right? So Lubert, Neville, and Pearl voted for Gibby. Neville switched sides, right? He was targeting Carly at first, so something happened. But yeah, so these three people are going to be on Gibby's list now, right? But yeah, Pearl is gone, and now our show looks something like this. We have the Pudding Tribe with their full roster still, 8 people, and the Legs Tribe only has 5 remaining. Now, that will do it for the first episode of this show, but surprise, since this is the first episode, I think let's do 2 in 1. Let's get this story started, and then we'll change things as we go, but I'm excited about this. Let's do one more, right? Let's proceed, and now we finally can take a look at the alliances from each group. Things are happening now, right? So we have an alliance here. I think this alliance is super strong. As you can see, it's an 8 strength. This is a tight-knit group, right? And in terms of relationships, we have, these are kind of already established, right? So we have, Gwen and Millicent and Gwen have an unbreakable relationship. These things will change, but I've kind of already set these from before, right? Nora and Marissa feel mutual extreme hatred towards another. That makes sense, right? So these will change for now, but they're not worth looking at now. You can pause, of course, to take a look if you'd like. But Legs Tribe has one alliance as well. I love this alliance as well. Carly and Freddie, the Lovebirds, and then T-Bo is joining along as well, who was the man at their dance, don't forget, their first dance. But same here, you see Neville, Carly, mutual hatred, blah, 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 right? So these are already, if you watch the shows, you know these relationships. So let's proceed. So we have a reward challenge. These are not as important, right? So you get a little reward if you win. And here, it seems like the Legs Tribe wins a little reward. Moving on, we have what's important, the immunity challenge. And in this immunity challenge, it's all about eating bugs. And basically, one or the other group, if they don't eat the bugs, then they, the details are not important. But what happened is the Pudding Tribe won immunity. They were better at eating bugs than the Legs Tribe. So what does that mean? That means the Legs Tribe is going down to 6 members after this episode. So it's a rough start for the Legs Tribe. But let's then take a look at the morale. Must be pretty good at the Pudding Tribe. Let's take a look. Millicent and Spencer have a major fight. Okay, that is a lasting impact. That's going to be important. But they also have formed a new alliance together. But I see that loyalty from Spencer in this alliance is not strong, right? But Gwen, Harper, Millicent, and Spencer are in an alliance. Gwen rests at the camp to restore her energy. Well, let's see what's next here. This is important, right? The Legs Tribe is the one that are voting people out now, so these events are crucial. Chuck and Neville have a minor disagreement. Gibby is impressing the rest of the team. Gibby always impresses me. And then we have a new alliance number 2 with a 7th strength. Carly, Chuck, Freddie, Gibby, and Lubert. And Chuck is super disloyal, so you can already see he's bound to backstab this group. But this is very interesting, a big alliance forming here. And we only have a couple people out of this alliance, right? So let's look at these targets. Neville keeps targeting Carly, and they target each other. And T-Bo is targeting Chuck. T-Bo considers Chuck a challenge liability. Okay, interesting. In terms of group targets, we have 2 different alliances in this group, and they both seem to be targeting Neville. And I can already see where this is going, right? Neville's not surviving this, and it seems like Carly has a lot of power, right? She has 2 alliances, and she's getting people to vote. She was dangerous last time with Pearl, and now she's getting Neville out. So Carly is a very bad person to have on your bad side, right? But let's take a look at what happened. We can always be surprised. There is a backstabber in here like Chuck. Maybe he's talked around. But Tribal Council, first vote is for Chuck. The second one is for Neville. Moving on, we have 3 votes now for Chuck. I think he just needs 1 more vote to be voted out, and it seems like that's exactly what happened. Moral of the story: don't get on Carly's bad side. But yeah, we have Pearl gone, Neville gone, people that Carly doesn't have a great relationship with. So here we can see what's important. Who's voted for who, and like I said last time, what's most important is not who voted for Neville, because he's gone now, it's not important, but Neville voted for Chuck, so actually there's nothing going on here. Basically, Neville is gone, and that's it. So let's proceed here. This is looking pretty grim for the Legs tribe, but this is a strong group, and now they have some strong alliances in this group. So I'm looking forward to see how this will develop in the next episode. Let me know what you guys think of iCarly Survivor, and for you Third Win super fans, there will be a video explaining, their personalities. There'll be a little bit of a psychological video, so I'm looking forward to that one as well. But I'll see you guys in the next video. Of course, everything is going on as usual on this channel. This is just a fun little thing we are doing as well. See you all in the next video.